Hi everyone, I'm Donna Stellhorn, your practical astrologer, and today we are talking about the solar eclipse. It is on March 29. It's at 9 degrees of Aries. This is the last Aries eclipse that we're going to have until October 2032. And then on March 30, Neptune goes into the sign of Aries for the first time in 164 years. What does this mean for you? That's what we're going to talk about. For those of you who are new, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. We're going to do a short overview, and then we're going to look at your sign in particular and love and money. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you would like a copy of your chart so you can follow along in these videos, I'll send you a PDF. There's a link in the description. An eclipse closes a door in your life, and it forces you to move forward. We had 18 months of Aries Libra eclipses, and this put a focus on yourself and one-on-one relationships. And 2 weeks ago, we started the 18-month cycle of Virgo Pisces eclipses, where the focus is on taking our spiritual ideas and our vision of what could be and applying this to our daily lives. Eclipses disrupt the status quo. And as disruptive as they are, it is almost always the case that we look back on these times and think that it was necessary and beneficial. But at the time, it can feel uncomfortable. This particular eclipse is at 9 degrees of Aries. I give a 5-degree orb. That means if you have any planets between 4 degrees and 14 degrees, you are getting hit by this eclipse. If you have planets in Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn, you're getting a harder hit. And if this eclipse falls within 5 degrees of your birthday, you are getting a direct hit. So that means that some aspect in your life is going to change. We'll talk about where the changes might be for you when we talk about the individual signs. But it is beneficial for you to look at your life and what you have been wishing to change, even though maybe you're not feeling ready for that change. Because when you ask questions like that, when you say what should change in my life, what could change in my life, you are starting to train your mind to look for opportunities. Now, we had a very similar eclipse back in October 2024. It was on October 2nd, and it was at 10 degrees of Libra. Libra is the opposite sign to Aries, and so there is a similar energy. So think about what was happening back in October of 2024. Maybe you are finishing up some of that energy with this current eclipse, or maybe you need to make some additional changes in that same area of life, or maybe somehow you avoided making a change then, and now the changes are happening. Now, besides this eclipse, on March 30, Neptune goes into the sign of Aries. It did this last time on April 13th, 1861. Now, for you history buffs out there, you may recognize that date. That was the day after the Civil War in the United States began. And so that back then was all about divisions, and right now we are a very divided people. Energies like this tend to repeat, giving us an opportunity to improve and make things better. Neptune represents our vision, the idealized version of what we want to create in our lives. But it also rules nightmares and fear. And so it's both the utopian ideas and the dystopian ones. It's two sides of the same coin. Since our thoughts become our actions and our actions become our life, it's important now to find the vision of what it is you want to create in your life. And then you'll be able to work to make that a reality. Now, I know that does not sound easy in this world today, but it's worth trying. It's worth working towards. And with Neptune, it doesn't mean keeping your head in the clouds. Your vision may include very practical things that you're doing, maybe in your community to fight for your kids' education, or to keep books in schools, or to have equality and opportunity for everyone. And then soon Saturn's going to enter the sign of Aries. And so with Saturn, the ideas that you formulated using the Neptune energy, then the Saturn sees as blueprints, and it starts constructing your life. Okay, Scorpio, this eclipse is about the most important resource you have, and that is your time. And this is about looking at your routines and seeing if you're doing things in your day-to-day life that actually lead to your bigger goals. This is, like if you're an artist, this is about actually doing art. If you want to have a channel, it's actually not just recording the video, but posting the video. This is about taking the action to make things happen, but it's just in increments. There was this YouTuber, an artist, and he decided that every single day he was going to draw this one particular bird. He was just going to do a bird picture every single day, but just this one bird so that he could work on his skills. And this opened up opportunities he did not imagine could happen. This became a book. It became, like an icon on T-shirts. It brought him a collaboration. It brought him a new job. And so just doing this small little thing every day, this is what moved him forward. So Scorpio, you have the gift of tenacity, and that is when you take hold of something, you're unlikely to let it go until you have achieved your goal. So, and sometimes this has been in, that you're taking hold of an idea or something like that, and maybe that it takes you down a rabbit hole of investigation, but you can use it for positive goals of building something and creating something. So be conscious of what you take hold of, because if you become aware and conscious of how you're using time, what happens is you become like a time lord. You become empowered with so much of the ability to say, I've got 5 minutes here. I'm going to use it to practice music. And that 5 minutes adds up every single day and brings you basically the career you wanted, the connections you wanted, everything you want. So it's in the minutes, it's in this smallest increment that you achieve your goals. And if you would like to know more about what's ahead for you and how to use this energy, or what's going to happen in 2025 and 2026, I do readings. There's a link in the description. Now, when it comes to love relationships, specifically new love, you still have that out of sign sextile going on between Pluto and Neptune. Mars and Jupiter are not talking right now. So the energy is still here. You've got some planets going on in this area, but most of it's going to take a little bit of effort or doing something different. I mean, that's what an out of sign aspect does, is it brings us an opportunity, but it's kind of out of left field. So that means that, going to a different coffee shop, you might meet someone, going to a new meetup group, or, just getting out of the house a little bit more, saying yes to going to a social occasion, saying yes to a date, even though that person's not really your type. That sort of thing can just get things moving. And that can help. And then when it comes to existing love relationships, Venus is making an out of sign sextile with Pluto. So this, it manifests a little bit differently than the love relationship, which is a little bit more about initiating something different and then things happen. This is to understand that the misunderstanding between the two of you is because you are defining things differently, or your communication is off a little bit. You're a little bit out of sync. And so that's what's causing the issue. And so if you can be mindful of this, like you may be saying, why can't you do such and such? But they're defining some word that you're saying differently than you're thinking. And once you unravel that different definition, then you go, oh, this is what the miscommunication was. Like you might say soon, and to them that means this month, but you meant in the next hour, that sort of thing. So that's a kind of extreme, but yes. Now, when it comes to your money, you pull money from Jupiter, which is still in a money house for you. It is picking up speed, though, and I think it's mid-June or so. It's going to be leaving this area. So this is your little window now to get some things in place financially that you've been procrastinating on or just didn't have time to do. So, and this could be, opening a brokerage account, connecting with your broker, reviewing your accounts, going through your business, looking at your back office of your business. even if you could just make a list of the things you need to do, so that you can start checking those off, even if you don't get them all done by the time Jupiter leaves this sign, you still have this momentum going. Now, when it comes to money from business or from investments, Mercury is not making an aspect with Jupiter, and Mercury is moving back, and it's going to go in and change signs. So we have a changing landscape, and that means that you can't always count on the returns that you were getting. Things change, and so this is a time to be very watchful. You're not quite in the place yet where you can grab hold of these opportunities. This is more of a wait and see sort of time. As Mercury moves back, it's going to line up in a positive way for you, but in this 2 weeks, this is a time to be aware that sometimes not everything is lining up the way you want it to, but that doesn't mean that there aren't opportunities to do much better in the future. And then when it comes to money derived from career, so that would be a paycheck, right now, if you asked for a raise, you're just going to end up with more work, or some sort of really vague answer. So I don't think you're going to get anything definitive at this time. I think that it's more likely that they'll either say, oh, ask us in a month or two, and then they're going to bump it. Or they're going to say, sure, you can have more money, but here's way more responsibilities that, or projects you didn't want, or things like that. So you may want to just wait until this aspect lines up. It will line up in the future, but right now it's better if you wanted to really make more money, you would have to do a whole job change, and which is possible. So because you do have energy around opportunities for that. But if you want to stay where you are, there's changes and shifts going on in the company that you need to see how they kind of settle and what happens, and then you'll know who to ask or what to ask for. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Consider signing up for my newsletter where I talk about astrological happenings every week. And if you would like to know personally what is up for you in 2025 and 2026, I do readings. There's a link in the description, and I will see you in the next video.